Starting a new side hustle and worrying about what your employer may know? Well, watch on. As a business accountant, my team and I spend all day long helping business owners on their journey. And of course, a load of those people are starting up businesses. And many of them, and quite a lot of them, are also employed at the same time. Now, we've done other videos on what the tax consequences of all that are when you're starting up something on the side and you've got some other kind of deal going on, like your main job. But what about your employer? People often worry about what their employer knows. Do they automatically get told when you become self-employed? And that might not be desirable for you, depending on your situation with your job. So in this video, I just wanted to answer that question, short and snappy. So before I get into it, if you like these type of videos, make sure to click the subscribe button and the bell below so you get notified whenever we release more videos just like this one. So in short, what will they know? Not a lot. Caveat to this, but not a lot in general. And the reason that is that when you register with HM Revenue and Customs for what's known as a unique tax reference, you register as self-employed. The employer, your employer, do not automatically get told that that's the case. What your tax code and your tax affairs are your issue. They get told if your tax code changes, but not why it changed. So, and you immediately registering for self-employment will not immediately change your tax code. So in actual fact, for a long period of time, nothing with that even changes. And that would be the most obvious thing that would happen is, let's say a year odd down the line, maybe longer, you submit a tax return because you've earned some good money and you've had to do it. We've done other videos on when that might be the case, but you've done that, and then the tax office may change your tax code to account for it in next year, and your employer would actually get a change of tax code notice, but it wouldn't say why. So it is very unlikely, if not impossible, that your employer would know from that source, particularly because your tax affairs are your personal tax affairs. Of course, I did say there's a bit of a caveat to this, and that's if you do a limited company. Now, if you decide to form a limited company, and again, we've done videos on whether that's a good idea for you or not, and what situations might be a good idea or might not be, it will be on the public record. So if your employer gets a sniff that you might be out there doing something, they can simply go on Companies House. If you do this now, if you Google Companies House Beta, B-E-T-A, you can Google any, almost like Google, you can Google on the Companies House there, any person's name, any company, and you can start to sift through results. So if you were the director and or the owner, you're likely going to be on there on the public record and somebody could search you. So outside of you just blatantly advertising your services across all the social media channels and then finding out that way, the limited company is most likely the other way that they could find out something's going on. I think we probably bump into a few people a year as prospective clients who have maybe they've decided to set something up on the side whilst being employed, and their employer hasn't been very happy with what's going on because, you know, they're engaging with their customers and things like this, and you can understand that. And that's normally been found out because they've started a limited company, and sometimes they've tried to be clever and put it in their other half's name or something. But again, your employer's not silly; they will probably work this out. So that is obviously an issue if you're trying to keep it on the down low for a period. Now, of course, people often say then, well, am I not allowed to have another job? And that's really a contractual thing between you and your employer. Have a good look through your employment contract. I'm not an employment lawyer, so I won't get into that, but they can have things and clauses in there that may prevent you from particularly approaching and dealing with their clients, but you might also have some other clauses in there that prevent you from leaving and starting something up on your own, or at least would attempt to stop that being the case. And we see lots of people each year that come to us and they're like, oh, I'm just coming out of this period where I'm not allowed to do something. Now I want to do something. So that's really the short of the situation. Really, they're not going to know too much about what's going on if you don't advertise it out there and if you don't put yourself on the public record. If it's just you, self-employed, registering for self-employment with the revenue, they're really not going to know that through the only change that's going to happen is that tax code change, and that's not going to tell them why it's changed. So hopefully that's put your mind at rest. Please do share this information with anybody you think needs to know it, and I'll see you on the next one.